This is Roger Steele, your favorite influencer, and you here on Chasin Birdies.
All right, y'all, we're back here for another episode of Chasin Birdies. And
yes,
today's,
sir.
Yes, sir. And today's episode is going to be a good one. But let's talk to you, my man. What's shaking, my man?
Not much. I'm actually in New Orleans right now for my real life gig of jewelry. So we're down here. Me and B-Cats are making it work. And as always, today's episode is brought to you by Lynx Brewing. So go check them out at lynxbrewing.com. The Chasin Birdie Blonde Ale is stacked to the ceilings over at Lynx Brewing. So make sure you go pick yourself up some. It was nice to see Bud on social media. Someone in Michigan gear, Tennessee gear, drinking some Chasin Birdie Blonde Ale.
I mean, the Lynx Brewing crew had a whole little tailgate party there for the Tennessee Pitt game. And to your point there, we just wrapped up the first week of the NFL season, and the Bird got that W without no expense, obviously, but or no cost, I should say.
But TJ Watt, it's like JJ Watt all over again. Like, he's sick, but he's hurt.
He's a stud. He just plays great.
Yeah, he's out for the year, bud.
I tell you what, that D looked good. That O line looked not that great, and Trubisky looked like Trubisky. So we'll see.
Here we are,
stoked
boys.
for it, though. I'm stoked for it.
What about Najee Harris? Is he out for the year?
I don't know, bud. We'll know, I guess, soon.
That's the rumor I heard. That's what I heard.
No, now you're starting rumors, bud. Now you're starting rumors. But yeah, you know what? Getting back to the Chasin Birdies Blonde Ale, I recently made some smoked chickens in the Pit Boss vertical smoker, and I stuffed those cans of Chasin Birdies Blonde Ale right up that chicken's ass and smoked those bad boys for 2.5 hours.
How was it?
Buddy, it was dynamite. I mean, it was incredible. So
did you catch these chickens on your own? Like, did you go to your next door neighbor and take those chickens, or what?
Actually, the funny thing is, I never remember seeing these types of half chickens in the grocery store. I just overlooked them for some odd reason. So I'm like, I'm going to the store. I'm going to try to find these chickens. I never see them ever. There was a whole fucking crate of them. It was like I was supposed to be there that day to get these chickens. So it was a great weekend for that. And Bud, I heard a rumor, speaking of rumors, that you were in the grand state of New York with an old foe of ours, Vincey Trocheck.
Yeah, I was there last Wednesday, and I was fortunate enough to play a nice spot called Wingfoot, and we played the West Course. So we had myself, Vincent Trocheck, and John Bourne, my man over at Holderness and Bourne, and we had a grand old time. And our boy Bob hosted us. We had a blast. And my man Ricardo, dude,
is that
probably
the
the best caddy I've ever had. And you know what? When we get into the Anderson, the 2-man event at Wingfoot in 2023, Ricardo's on the bag for us. So Ricardo, shout out. We all loved you. You were hilarious. Made the day so fun, dude. I'll tell you what, Wingfoot is money.
I mean,
the fairways are tight and the greens are. I didn't realize how big the greens are at Wingfoot and how undulating they are. It was incredible because it could literally be 3 clubs on some of those holes.
Yeah,
but it was a blast, dude. I loved it. You know, of course, I went wild in the pro shop. I mean,
dude,
last fucking thing I need in my life.
And cleaning out the golf wardrobe and adding some new shit in there, bud. That's what you do.
But the Wingfoot logo on Holderness and Bourne.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Nice combo there. So,
well, good, bud. I'm glad you got out, skip a couple days of work, and played Wingfoot. So I'm sure you're happy about that.
I got invited to a nice little spot here in 2 weeks. So we'll keep people posted on that one.
Yeah, the Anderson event though, bud. I'd be more than happy to play with you. It'd be great for social media content. People out there, Peppy and I going to Wingfoot, playing in the Anderson. We may even do a USGA 4-ball at some point. Who knows? But the boys, we got to get out there a little bit in some of this live tournament action. And today's guest, Mr. Roger Steele, Roger_Steele on Instagram. My man is an influencer like no other, self-starter, built his own brand, entrepreneur, golfer. You're talking Callaway, Nike, Range Talk series on YouTube. I mean, this guy, can he just calm down?
He was at the PGA Championship on the range talking. I mean, my man's living the life. He's over at Jones. It was awesome watching him at the Jones boys over in Oregon, where you're about to go with our boy Puring.
And our
he
beer.
looked like he was having the time of his life there in Pronghorn. And man, to watch somebody like Roger Steele, he took a risk on himself, and it's paying off. And it's awesome to watch because I'm all in on that. That content, golf is dope. That t-shirt, golf is dope. I mean,
Hipe Media.
Golf is dope. Golf is dope, and I'm glad to do this with you.
Yeah, but I'm glad too, and I'm happy to roll this right into Roger Steele. And basically, before I do that, I need to make one last interjection here on this player brand biltong, because as I was recording this episode, as I'm listening to this episode, I cannot help but snack on this biltong style jerky, player brand biltong. Birdies 10 at the checkout aisle. Get yourself some. We sent you there. You won't regret it. Now, what shall we do?
We should roll it on over to Roger Steele and, like he does, tee it high and let it fly right into the episode.
Roll. All right, y'all. We're back here for another episode of Chasin Birdies. And today's guest, man, is a guy we've been chasing after, no pun intended, for months. And we finally nailed him down with his busy golf schedule, social media schedule, life. My man, Roger Steele. What's shaking, my man?
What's good, baby? How y'all feeling?
We're good, man. We're good. We're so glad to finally,
man,
Brian said, we've been chasing you down, man.
Come on. I want y'all, everybody out there listening, I want y'all to know that they wasn't chasing me that hard. You know what I mean? They sent a few loose emails, and, you know, it wasn't like they made me feel like that much of a priority. But, you know, I'm here nonetheless because I wanted to be here. But, you know, it's all good.
I love it. So where are you at right now, Roger? I know you're hailing from Chicago. Are you back in Chicago right now?
Yeah, back in Chicago for a few days, man. It's like this whole year, I've only been able to be home probably being realistic, about 15 to 20% of the time, which is like insane. You know, I've never spent this much time away from home. And, you know, I ain't no spring chicken either. So it's like, you know, the adjustment has been interesting, trying to like keep up lifestyle wise with stuff that I used to do and whatnot. But I mean, it's been dope to see so many different sides of golf, and you know, I wouldn't trade that for nothing.
So I do have to ask right out of the gate. I mean, coming from Chicago, there is so much good golf there. Growing up, was golf always a part of your life?
Yeah. My pops, he's a retired Chicago police officer, and so around the time I was born, he was realizing that golf was going to be the way to elevate his career or like his standing within the department. He said his supervisors and lieutenants was letting them take days off just so they could go play once they figured out he could play. And so from there, he kind of decided that it was something that was going to be a part of my life. The hard thing about it was that, you know, I didn't have a lot of peers that played golf. You know, all my friends playing, you know, basketball, football, whatever. And it was hard for me to develop a real love for the game because I didn't feel like I identified with it. You know, the essence of my game is like, you know, or the essence of my experience was my dad and his, you know, 40-year-old friends out there, you know, drinking, smoking, talking crazy, gambling. In retrospect, it looked dope. But like at the time as a kid, I was just, you know, I wasn't able to really fall in love with the sport like that. But my dad made sure that I was around it all the time. And plus, I'm an only child, so that was kind of his way of keeping me away from other things that they were to do in the neighborhood. You know, there's a lot of, I mean, it's just, you know, we on the west side of Chicago, it's just a lot of weird stuff you could get into, and it don't really take a whole lot for a kid to get misdirected. You know, you make one little shaky friend, and then before you know it, you're making a couple shaky decisions, and then your whole life look different, you know. And my dad, you know, he saw that firsthand because of what he did for a living, and he just said that I wasn't going to, you know, end up that way, and golf was the way that he kept tabs on me. So it was forced on me in the beginning. I'm not going to lie. You know, I wish that I could have fell in love with it sooner, but, you know, then I wouldn't be a budding influencer in my 30s. So it's all good.
Isn't it crazy what social media has done for the game of golf alone? I mean, has been dynamite, and we'll get into that a little bit. So your dad not forces it on you, but kind of forces it on you, and you really didn't want anything to do with it at that time because you're a kid and you wanted to experience other things. When did you get to a point in life and you're like, all right, this game's cool, I'm cool, let's roll with it?
Man, bro, it all happened in waves, dog. Like, so I went to college for civil engineering, and I I had like after high school, I got out from under my dad's thumb, and I'm like, yo, me and golf done with. Like we broke up. You know what I mean? Like my dad not forcing me to do this no more. Like golf, not a part of my life. I went to college and didn't even tell nobody I knew about golf. It wasn't even a part of my, my brand DNA. But then I graduate and I get my first job, and then I, realized very quickly that I hate corporate America like most people. But they were selling us. They sent a company-wide email after I got off probation. Was like, man, if anybody know how to play golf, we got an outing coming up. We giving you a paid day off to go play in this outing. And at that point, I'm doing anything to get off of work, dog. You know what I mean? So I'm like, yeah, I play golf. They're like, Roger, you play golf? I'm like, yeah, I play golf, man. Come on. Yeah,
your dad was right?
Bro, so I go play in this scramble. And so then, like from high school through college, like I started lifting weights. I started getting in shape and stuff, you know what I mean? And man, I started back hitting the golf ball and I'm like smoking it. And I wasn't doing this when I was younger, you know what I mean? And I'm like just smoking the ball. I'm like, man, this is crazy. Then I take me a lesson and then I play in this outing. And then it was just crazy to see that like before, like that Mike Jones back then, they didn't want me. Now I'm hot, they all on me. Like I played in this one outing and all the execs at this firm I was at, they went from not like even making direct eye contact with me to like, Roger, come in my office, man. Come on. Like, man, I want you to come out here with me. And I'm like, bro, I just found a cheat code, dog. I'm like, oh man, it was so dope. And so from there, like, not saying that my love affair for the game was transactional, but like I understood the power of that game in that moment. And I also liked how, you started to understand that everything that happened in the golf swing and over the course of the golf round was cause and effect. And you understood the parallels of that to life. And, obviously me being more mature and trying to figure out my life direction and, you know what I mean? Trying to reconcile choices that I'm making. Like I started to lean into golf to just give me like peace and clarity and be more intentional about it. So it became like this safe space for me to just navigate life through, And so it was probably when I was in my low 20s, dog, when I came back to it. It was probably like 2012 or something like that. And ever since then, I've just been figuring out, like, it was like I was on a drug, man. Like, how can I get more of this? How can I, you know what I mean? What's the piece of this?
It is a drug, dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
that's
addicting.
The thing, too. Now you look back on it, you're like, shit, I should have listened to my dad a little bit, but it's cool. You went through it. You figured it out yourself. Now, how badass is it that you could play golf with your dad and enjoy it and be on a golf course somewhere?
Man, I apologize to them. I feel like I'm apologizing to him every week. And if I ain't saying it out loud, I'm trying to like express my, my regrets and sympathies through gestures and things like that, man. But he was, it's like the older you get, the smarter your parents become, man. And it's very true.
I got to ask you a question, Roger. I was reading a article on the internet about you, and at some point in your life, your dad had you at a golf clinic outside Chicago, and a young man by the name of Tiger Woods was at that clinic, and you were nudged in the back to go up there and kind of swing with him a little bit. At that point in time, you had no idea who Tiger Woods was because he was 17 years old. But looking back at that moment,
nobody.
What did that do for you?
I don't know. I think that like it gave me like this weird like connection to golf as I got older to know that like moments like that were in my DNA. First of all, understanding that I was like 6 years old at the time and I got up there and striped the ball in front of Tiger Woods. Like when I owned that, like my confidence just like shot up. You know what I mean? I was just like, man, like I'm made for the big moments. The cameras was out there. They took the picture of it, put it in the newspaper. I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? So I just internalized that. It's like, I'm a big game player, and I've been that way since I was a kid. You know what I mean? So that was one of the takeaways that I took from it. But the other one was like, man, how dope is it that like our paths cross so early in life? And like, in the back of my mind, I've been trying to figure out a way to just recreate that moment somehow, dog. Like it's been like this crazy thing. Like even from my partnerships and things like that. Like, I was like, okay, how can I get closer to the Genesis? Because that's Tiger's tournament. Then I was like, okay, how I get closer to Nike? Because that's he signed there. Then I got signed to the same agency as Tiger. Like, okay, and then bro, it's like these little things that's happening. And I'm like, oh man,
and it's gonna happen.
We're gonna come together, and I'm gonna make Tiger put on that same outfit he put on, I'm gonna put on the same outfit I put on, and we're gonna recreate that shot, baby.
That would be
That's like,
sick.
bro.
Oh, I
If
love
I get that, I might delete my Instagram.
You probably would have to.
No, when you
I mean,
get
bud.
that, that's hilarious. No, so I mean, here's the deal though, Roger. You're an entrepreneur, man, and I give you mad props for that. So kind of COVID hits, and you move out to LA. You already have this golf background, but you don't really have the technical savviness of marrying the two together. But then what happens? It kind of goes from you playing golf, loving golf, to thinking there's another avenue for me out there in this world.
And it was a lot of swinging and missing, bro. Like I said, I was a civil engineer for the first 5 years of my professional life post college, and I didn't like it at all. So I quit, and I just wanted to do something in golf, man. And I didn't know what it was. I wanted to start some businesses. Obviously, through playing golf, I was spending a lot of time around entrepreneurs, and I loved the lanes that they had carved for themselves. Man, I was just trying to find my entrepreneurial lane that would free me up to experience golf at the level that I seen it. But it was hard, man. I tried to start a couple brands early. Those didn't work. I tried to, like I was pitching concepts and ideas. But what I did find is that, like, I'm a pretty decent storyteller, right? So, like, when I get a pitch meeting with somebody that, they work, in private equity or something, and I'll be like, yo, I got this idea. Like, I want you to hear it and maybe help me with it. I would go and pitch this idea to them. They would hate the idea, like completely hate the idea. But they were like, man, the way that you presented this, who put this deck together, or who put this explainer video together for you, or who put this together? And I was like, man, I did all of that. They were like, well, I'm not going to invest in your idea because that's stupid, and I don't believe that you can do what you say you're going to do. But I would bring you on to do some creative work for the firm. And I was like, man, focus on why I'm here. Like, don't try to pick, like, invest in my idea. You know what I mean? I feel like off Step Brothers. You going to invest or not? You know what I mean? But but that turned into some opportunities to consult creatively, and kind of on the back end, I just found a way to navigate golf through storytelling and content creation. But I was doing it for other people though. It wasn't about me. It was other brands and athletes and other companies that I was kind of helping them carry the creative lift. But that became a way that I could stay around golf and use golf to build a little bit of revenue for myself,
It's absolutely insane. I mean, you talk about Chasin Birdies. That's as Chasin Birdies as it gets. So you look like a guy that does not take a no, which I love, because there's always a yes, right? Where there's a no, there's a yes, eventually. So when did it become social media? Social media over COVID became huge because that's all people were doing. They're on their phones, scrolling. When did you think, all right, I'm going to take this and put it into the social media game? Or did it just kind of happen?
Man, bro. And it's like when COVID happened. So like right before COVID, that's when I was in LA actually. And I had built up a decent little book of business, you know what I mean? And I had like, 5 or 6 clients that was paying me a decent amount to like keep my head above water. And I felt like my career was trending in a certain direction. And then COVID hit, and then I got fired from I got let go like instantly. Like the phone calls came in one after the other. It was like hearing the same, it was deja vu almost, the way that they was calling it and the way that they was saying that we couldn't work together. And so then I sat around, bro, like from the beginning of COVID until, like October. COVID kicked off in like March or so. So I go from like March to October with nothing to do, dog. Like nothing. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yo, you watching the bank account go down. You like, it's crazy. And I was feeling like, like all these people that I was working with, like we had personal relationships too. You know what I mean? And I felt some type of way that like, man, I was really trying to present myself in a certain way so that I could receive these benefits of the game. And some of those ways weren't the most authentic. Like I wasn't speaking truthfully about things because I didn't want to ruffle feathers, because I wanted to maintain a business relationship. You know what I mean? And so like I just like I kind of entered this like jaded, unapologetic space with the game, bro, where it was like you could be whoever you think you need to be, but at the end of the day, you could still lose everything because those people don't owe you anything. And and I had to sit down with myself and be like, yo, who are you and who do you want to exist as? And so then, after sitting around for 6 months with no money to think about this, I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna just say what I want to say on social media, and I'm gonna say it how I want to say it. And because I know I love the game, because I know I'm good at the game, because I know I respect the game. If people can't accept me for who I am, then maybe we don't need to be friends no more. And I'm thinking like going authentically off into the social media space from the golf world, all the stigmas you heard, like, oh, you can't do that in golf, or like, oh no, you can't talk, this is a gentleman's game, you can't say that. I was fully expecting to lose friends over that, or lose invites and access and things like that. I really thought that I was like, walking a plank when I decided that I was gonna just articulate myself on social media. And I made a couple videos, and I was very unapologetic with my ideas and how I was framing them. And to my surprise, it was like I felt like I again had found another cheat code. It's like, man, you mean I could not think and talk and people like this shit? I was like, what? Like, feel like you're getting punked or something, dog.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? But it was crazy though, bro. So that, it was really COVID. Like, even though it hurt in the beginning to go through the losses and feel like, man, I'm back at ground zero with everything. The way that I emerged out of that, bro, was like, it's unfathomable as I reflect back on it, like where my headspace was before that and where I am now.
So, Roger, whenever, with the sponsorships that you have right now, Nike, Genesis, how did that all come to life?
Well, Genesis is not my sponsor, but we need a car. You manifesting it, you know what I mean? Like I need.
Okay, well, I want to make it happen.
I had some dope car partnerships though, but yeah, I think that it's something to be said about how relationships take a long time to build, man. Relationships and rapport, and a lot of people that reached out for me on these partnerships are people that I had known prior, like the Nike thing, like. I had been, slowly cultivating a relationship with somebody internal on their team that I was fortunate to meet for like years, you know what I mean? And it was just, it just didn't make sense until it made sense, Callaway, like, I had been playing Callaway clubs, those are some of the first woods that my dad put in my hands. And, even before I did a long drive back in 2015 or something. And I had just been trying to get Callaway. I had just been, I've been working to engage with Callaway for years and years and years. Right. And it had just finally, clicked and made sense when it made sense. So a lot of that stuff, like, people will say that, it took them however long to become an overnight success. Mm-hmm. But I really think that, I tried to lay the foundation for all of that stuff by, building relationships with people and having those be authentic, and then seeing those translate and materialize into things that were lucrative for me, even though it wasn't that way on the front end. But I also think that the thing that I had on my side was just that, I don't know, I thought it was a lot of things that I brought into golf that I wasn't seeing anywhere else, Right. I thought that like the outspokenness, I thought that like my affinity for the sport, I thought that the way that like my capabilities in the sport, I thought that my background, like just being from Chicago and like having those types of life experiences from a personal and family side, I thought it was just a lot of stuff rolled into one. And even though I don't think that all of my sponsors feel secure investing in me because I seem like a wild card, I think that they was at least willing to roll the dice on it, man. And so ever since then, I've just been trying to make good.
It's been a good role, though, bud. I mean, you've got a ton of followers now on Instagram, which is awesome to see. And like you said, your sponsorships they're good. You got Nike, you got Callaway, you've got various other ones. Now, does Nike come to you and say, "Hey, we want to do this spot with you," or are they just kind of like, "Hey, just push us on social media. We're good. We'll be a partnership that way"?
Yeah, I think that the thing I got to realize is that a lot of this stuff is still new. And they have their goals, Nike in particular, they have like very high overarching goals that they're forming very big strategies to achieve. And so I'm looking at, like, I went to the world headquarters and they laid out like what 2023 and beyond is going to look like. And I'm like, wow, like that's what y'all doing, like this crazy, and I'm trying to figure out how I could just play my part within that. And that's like my approach to partnerships, period, is like, these are businesses that have business goals. I consider myself an entrepreneur, and as to make good on my partnership, I want to elevate their goals. You know what I mean? And figure out where the authentic synergies are between myself and the things that I care about, the things that the people that follow me care about, and what they're offering, And so like, that's how I say no to a lot of stuff as well, is like, if I don't feel that there's a way that I can speak authentically on behalf of your brand, and if I don't like the things that you're doing, then we probably can't work together, because I just hate the fake stuff. But I think that it's a very collaborative process with all of my partnerships, which is dope. If I wake up with a crazy idea, I got people I could just call and be like, yo, all right, tell me if it's stupid. There's an alien, a chipmunk, and 17 bananas. Like, well, can we do this? You know what I mean? I could just say the wildest stuff, and they'd be like, Roger, go back to sleep. You know what I mean?
Go back, Roger. Go back to sleep, bud.
But yeah, it's a very collaborative relationship that we got, and that's kind of been working good in the short term.
I do have to ask you, because I'm a fan of Jones, who you've become recently a partner with. How did that all come to fruition? Because Jones is a company that not a lot of people know about, but if you know about it, you're all in on it.
Yeah, but it's like I just always thought the elegance and simplicity and like that, like they brand is so confident, bro, without like being overstated. You know what I mean? And I look for those little things, like the subtle quality things, you know what I mean? And so I talked to them on social. They had sent me a bag. I started looking them up. I started chatting with them, you know what I mean? And this is all just organic conversation, man. And they was like, man, Raj, you seem cool. The CEO, Matt, he's like, man, we'll fly you out. Like, just come hang out and see if you get along with us. And I was like, yeah, let's, that sounds good. Like, I would love that. And I go up there, bro, and like they whole culture at Jones is so dope, man. Every one of them is players, like players. You know what I mean? They all got some crazy, like, I won the mid-am. I won the U.S. Junior Am. I won the Junior Galaxy of the. I'm like, bro, what? They all got these crazy playing resumes, and but they was all super dope people. You know what I mean? And so we got there, we kicking it, and I'm like, man, I feel like I might, sometimes I'll be feeling like I'm a little too loud for the Jones brand, just because I do things my way. But the fact that they was like so open to saying like, Raj, man, we love what you're doing for the game. We love who you are as a person. Let's figure out a way to like have our brands intersect. Like relationships like that, like I'm gonna be a lifer with them. Like even if there's not a contractual situation in place, I just love they brand.
This is a good product.
It's a good company, bro. Like it's a good company, start to finish. The way that they handle everything is top tier, man.
So you're headed out to Pronghorn then for their golf tournament?
About to go scuff them boys up real quick,
I'll tell you what, Raj.
Don't nobody be thinking I could play, man.
Oh, you could play. I see you out there at these pro-ams.
Nah, but people be sleep on me, man. They be sleeping on me.
Well, let me ask you a question, because you look at your Instagram, it's so energetic. What's the deal with Steph Curry, man? It looks like you boys are boys, and I think he's an awesome human being. How'd that golf thing, was that because of range talk with Callaway, or how did that whole thing happen?
Yeah, Steph, Steph is signed to Callaway as well. And, and it's like Steph got the unusual ability to make you feel, and I assume that this is why he's such a great teammate and like a great leader, but the way he make you feel connected after only spending a short amount of time with you. Like we had talked a couple times, like on a FaceTime before that, and like social media before that. But then when you link up in person, you like, yo, this Steph Curry. You know what I mean? And like, you don't expect to have that rapport with somebody. Like, bro, I fanned out when I saw Steph, dog. He came on site for this Callaway shoe. I was drinking my coffee and saw him, bro, spilled the whole cup on my white shirt. I was like, oh my God, like, bro. Felt like a little high school girl, man. You know what I mean? Just got nervous. Like, man, I didn't even know black people could blush like that, But man, but to see him and to have him make me feel that he respected the things that I was doing in the game, and to have those types of insightful conversations with him, to bond over the game like that with him, it was like one of my top life experiences, dog. Like somebody that I idolized, like, bro, I have your jersey, dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I literally wear your jersey, and to have this man show me respect or like, say, man, I like what you did with this, or I was keeping up with that, or like, you know what I mean? Then to get on the text with him, like, oh man,
All right.
like,
So it's
man.
a game changer now.
come on, man. Again, another life experience where my confidence just shot way up, dog. You
Right.
know what
Yeah.
I mean? I'm internalizing this, and I'm like, okay, like I'm low key, I'm that dude a little bit. You know what I mean? Not a lot, but like a little bit. Put a little respect on my name.
Yeah, and you're a little excited, right? Because you do. I mean, you look up to these people. It doesn't matter how old you are. You still look up to people.
Right.
And Steph's one of the best, man. I mean, he is.
And that's one of that's like the value proposition for the game, though, right? Like, if I don't care how good I played basketball all my life, I don't care how good I got at basketball. For me to meet Steph Curry at this stage in my life, like zero chance through the game of basketball. There's very few things in this world that I could have done to get that time with, one of the most prolific, basketball players in history. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing, no other thing that I think I could have done to get in his space like that. But golf gave me that avenue. Like, what else besides golf could create that lane for people? You know what I mean?
That is the whole premise of our podcast. We're talking to athletes. We're talking to people like you, entrepreneurs, country singers. We're not in that space, but we all are addicted to golf, and we're chasing birdies in life and on the course. And you just nailed it. That's what we're trying to do here with this podcast. So we have a good buddy who was on a podcast before, Colton Oast. He's over at CBS Sports. And I saw you doing some CBS talking now, man. Yeah, Colt, he's hilarious.
Yeah, that's my boy, man. I love Colt, dog. Hey, Colt ain't gonna tell you this, but I scuffed him up, and we played a little par 3, and I scuffed him up. It was just one hole.
He'll never tell you that. He'll never say that.
It was one hole, but I got him though. Like,
Right.
Next time you talk to him, please remind him, because I think he might have forgot.
I'll send him a text here shortly. He's the best, though. I mean, so again, now your social media presence has brought you to, now you're on the range at majors. Like, what, as a kid, what are you telling little Roger? Dude, you're gonna be living your best life when you're 34, 35 years old, and you're gonna be on the range at a major at the PGA Championship, interviewing guys and hanging out, rubbing elbows, hitting balls. What was that experience like? Because again, another experience.
Bro, this like it was so far out of my realm of reality, dog, that like even when they asked me to do it, I'm like, what? You know what I mean? Even when I, I was booking my travel to go out there, I'm still just like, what? Like the whole time, even to when I get on the range and they putting the mic and the headset on me, I'm like, what? Like, bro, I could not believe none of that was happening all the way up until, they told me that we was live and the dude pointed at me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and it's just I don't even know how to, like, bro, the life that I feel that I'm living is so rare that I don't even want to go back and do it again, because I don't think I could recreate this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I think that not knowing what I didn't know was good, and going through the struggles and things that I went through was good, because all of them things came together to give me this very rare moment in time, and I don't want to mess it up. I wouldn't even talk to Lil Roger if I could go back in time. I'd be like, you good, dog, just
You're fine.
hey, just figure it out. Hey, just keep your head down, and maybe break up with that girl in LA a little quicker. You know what I mean?
All right, now.
But the crazy thing though, bro, we doing a CBS thing, and I could talk to a brick wall, bro. Like I can talk. I'm never short for words. They put their headset on me, and they put that big ass camera in my face, and they was having this, like, we was doing this rehearsal thing, and for the first time in my life, I could not talk. Like, they was asking me questions, bro. They were asking me questions. They were like, Roger, can you give us the lead in, Roger? I was like, bro, I could not form words. And I don't know if y'all know Hallie Ledbetter. She was standing right next to me. I looked over at her. She was looking at me like, "Oh my God, you're not about to do this right now." But yeah, she helped calm me down. But man, it was like that was a very real moment for me, because it's like, bro, if I mess this up, like everybody that kind of, bro, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
If I jag right now, it's everybody that was wondering what my capabilities were. They gonna know that it stopped right here. Like, oh yeah, he a social media dude, but he can't really do nothing else more than that. Like,
but big city bright lights, baby, right?
And I went back to the moment when I was 6 years old.
Right.
Tiger Woods was there, and I stepped up when the camera came on, and I hit that little 100-yard drive, or however far I went. I was made for that, dog, and I stepped up and I had a great time with everybody on the CBS team, man. And we've been talking about, they got a very expanded schedule for 2023, and so I think we're gonna be able to do some cool stuff.
So
that's what I'm hoping for you.
We are talking about the PGA Tour here a little bit. We have to ask you a little bit about this because it is a hot topic, and you're involved in the golf world. Live golf. What's your thoughts? What's your take? Right, wrong, and indifferent. Everybody has an opinion.
Yeah. Like, I be trying to not have opinions when, like, everybody that's dealing with it is, like, way richer than I am. Like, sometimes I be feeling like I ain't paid enough to be having opinions on certain stuff, but for the sake of this conversation, I'll go ahead and try to expand a bit. But, like, at the end of the day, I'm an entrepreneur. Y'all are entrepreneurial, obviously, as we're on this podcast together. Like, everybody need competition, bro. And there's, we live in a free market economy, and like, I've never saw competition as a bad thing, and we're all competing. There's beauty in competition. So somebody standing something up to rival, the monopoly that the PGA Tour has on professional golf. Like, I'm not mad at that. You know what I mean? But I just think that you can't disrespect the legacy that the PGA Tour has created.
Right.
And like, bro, that's your whole understanding of golf. That's your whole framework of how
that's why you're doing it.
Golf. That's the reason we doing it, baby. And it's like, you can't just leave your high school sweetheart like high and dry, like she ain't mean nothing to you, man. Y'all married and had kids, and then you got this little, Dominican Miami chick coming up, with a BBL, and now you got your heart rate up. Now you trying to run away from home. It's like, I understand you might leave, bro, but don't act like your wife wasn't holding you down,
right,
the whole time. And that's the way I felt. It's like, whether players wanted to leave and go their own way,
cool,
that's fine. And then whether they wanted to stay and make the best of the situation that they had, always dreamed of and worked so hard for it, that's fine too. I'm like trying to be on the side of non-judgment, but fundamentally, there's nothing wrong with competition. And I think that the PGA Tour has the ability, like, to be as impactful as they want to in the sport still. And I also think that there might be room in the golf space for a little to, like, provide alternative.
Be a part of it.
Yeah, like it's just the landscape is shaking up, dog. And I just don't think that it's a bad thing. I think that right now it's weird because it's fragmented, right? Like, I be going to these pro-ams, like at the BMW. Like, I wanted to see Brooks, you know what I mean? Like, I wanted to see, some of my other guys out there, like Bryson. They all bring like a different energy to the field, and it sucked not being able to have access to all of the stars at one place no more. That's what hurt me as a golf fan, you know what I mean? But they got to go through what they got to go through. Y'all read Jay Monahan thing that he released yesterday?
Yeah.
And it's like, and now the PGA Tour, they pivoting,
It's exactly. You look, Tiger and Rory, a business just got formed like that.
That's going to be badass.
That's the thing. You're messing with two big dogs there. Tiger is, whatever Tiger does is going to work.
Yeah.
And him not going to live proved, like, all right, the gloves are off now. Now you just wait. Give us a few days. We'll get something together for you. Here they are.
The impact of Tiger, bro. Like, remember that player impact money that they came out with? Mm-hmm. I feel like all Tiger had to do to win that money was post a swing video. and it went like, social media went crazy, bro. It's like, man, the control Tiger got over the game is it's deserved, but it's just I don't think we understand how unprecedented it actually is.
Yeah.
But him deciding to stay home and represent where his legacy came from, it said a lot. And so I think that as a golf fan, like as a true golf fan, the PGA Tour is where my heart is, dog. You know what I mean? So I can't knock that. And I ain't got no live offers or nothing like that either. So I ain't in no race.
So I do have to ask you about another guy in your backyard there, Chicago. He's now getting into the golf world with his shoes. But Michael Jordan, I mean, this guy, I was never a basketball fan, but I loved Michael Jordan growing up, man. I had the Chicago Bull cut-off shooting shirt and all the shit. And what he's doing for the game of golf, again, here we are. The low ones, everybody's hunting these down, the 12s. It's making golf cool. Like I see your T-shirt, golf is dope.
Yeah.
Your style's good. You're making it fun. You're being you. And so tell us a little bit about like the styling of golf nowadays.
But I think that the opportunity is that, golf for a long time was kept as this exclusive undertaking for these very select privileged individuals. And like what I've discovered is that golf is a bridge between every pathway in life. You know what I'm talking about? Like through the game of golf, if I scroll through my phone book, I'll find lawyers, doctors, like business owners for, Fortune 200, 300, 400, 500 companies, whatever the case. I'll find athletes, basketball, football, hockey, baseball. I'll find like ex-cons. I'll find, teachers. I'll find whatever the case. All of that stuff I can find direct connections to through the game of golf. And it's like, what better bridge? I could put all these people in the same room, not tell them who they were or what they meant to the world, put them on a golf course, and they could all bond and vibe out. And there's no other place that they could do that. So I say all that to say that golf is for everybody and everyone should have a voice in the game of golf. Your lifestyle outside of the game shouldn't have to be washed away just because you want to come play this game. And I think that the fashion that we seeing pushed into the sport is indicative of that. People want to be who they are in the world and then come into this game and not have to pivot too much.
Yep.
And that's not an unreasonable ask. You know what I mean? And I think that the way that Jordan transcended sport and his love for the game personally is a testament to that. You know what I mean? Like what he doing on the shoe side is the embodiment of that. He like, I'm taking a basketball shoe and I'm just reimagining that for golf. It don't have to be some crazy departure from what already worked for this sport. I could literally bring that into the space and I could let these Jordan retros be authentic to the golf space. And I think that messaging is just so on point, man. So like, obviously it was a big deal when I got to sign with Nike and I was able to be a part of that. But it's like, that's the message, dog. Like whoever you are outside in the world, you could be that in the game of golf.
You're so true. I mean, it's so true. It's so
it's
cool.
a melting pot.
And that's why I like the game of golf nowadays is so fun, man. You got the hoodie with the joggers on, the Jordan golf shoes. I mean, a good friend of the show, Rocco Mediate, the guy's 57, 58 years old. He's wearing Lululemon joggers, Lululemon shirt untucked, and Jordans, and he's on the tour. Yeah. And he said, you don't like it? I don't care. This is me.
Yeah, man. It's like I should be able to walk off the golf course and go do normal shit and not even have to. You know what I mean? Like I shouldn't have to pivot at all. Or I should be able to walk off from doing normal shit and come to the golf course and not have to pivot at all. Like I shouldn't feel uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Right. Or looked at differently.
Just coming from life to golf and golf to life,
Yeah.
Yep.
100%. Yep. And I think that's what's happening right now. There's a movement in that. I mean, look at Malbon. Look at Linksole. Look at, all these clothing brands. Jordan, just what we talked about. I mean, golf is fun. Golf is dope, as you say. And that's the truth.
Yeah, shout out my Trap Golf family, man.
Yeah, we're here with Roger Steele here. Follow him on Instagram, Roger_Steele, Steele. The guy has energy like no other. I can feel it through the computer, even with my shitty internet connection right now. But what is the golf?
I mean, bud.
What is the golf is dope movement? What is that all about?
Man, we got I work with this brand Trap Golf. Like I'm one of the part owners of it, man. And we just trying to create a better bridge between golf culture and street culture, and for people that's coming into the game that need a brand that represent things that feel comfortable to them in the streetwear side, or from people that's been in the game that have never been able to articulate a certain side of themselves. If you love hip hop culture and all of that stuff, man, we just wanted to create a brand that had a voice for them. It was that simple. You know what I mean? So we just giving alternative means of expression in the game and letting people show their truer colors, because I don't think that every brand check every box for every person. And I think that it's a lot of room for newer niche brands that got, more specific audiences to come up and give those people a voice, man. And I hope that every voice that there is in the game find brands to represent them, like they should either be created or they should be, brands should be pivoting to represent different people. But I do 100% believe that every brand, every walk of life deserves to be represented in the game of golf. And so that's what we're doing on the Trap Golf side. We got our Golf is Dope stuff, you know what I mean, and everything we doing.
We gotta go on the website, Bash and buy us each a little hat. All right?
Yeah, man, come on, baby, show some love.
I love it. And we got to get you up to our neck of the woods, maybe in 2023, Roger. We got great golf here. We do a phenomenal event with a 5-star resort here in PA called Nemacolin. We just had a big writers retreat there with some big country artists, and we're planning to do it again in 2023. So we'd love to have you up. Taylor Cusack.
You got to roll up, man. We'll take care of everything to get you here.
Yeah. It's a good time, man. So be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, we'll do, baby. I'm checking my emails more regularly now, baby. So I'm gonna catch as soon as it come in. I'm gonna catch it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be. Don't you worry. You're gonna hear from us again. I promise you that. But we're gonna transition this over to our last segment of the show, Roger. It's called the Tap In segment, presented by Bettinardi Golf, and Jonathan's gonna ask you 4 questions that demand your quick-witted response.
All right, buddy.
I ain't got a lot of that, but let's try it.
Lowest round and where?
63 at a course called Jackson Park out here in Chicago.
Good Lord, man.
But nah, it's like, bro, the course is like 5,600 yards.
Don't matter. You got to get in the hole.
Damn.
I was chasing them birdies and I was catching them. I was catching them boys.
That's right.
I was catching them.
That's right.
This is going to be a loaded question based off of how well we've gotten to know you. So, most memorable golf experience to date?
Man, taking my dad to Pebble Beach a year or two ago, man. Like, he always told me that he wanted to go, but he said he would never, ever pay that much to play no golf. And I just went ahead and found a way for us to get out there. I'm like, Dad, you so cheap. You cheated yourself from this, but don't worry, I got you. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that was probably one of the watching a 70-year-old dude turn into a 10-year-old kid is like crazy, bro.
It is. All right, favorite hobby outside of golf?
Basketball. Even though my knees don't work no more, like if somebody is dribbling a basketball within 100 feet of me, like I will go and put my life on the line to, you know what I mean, to show that I still got it a little bit. So that's like my vice, man. Like hearing a basketball bounce.
There you go. Hey. All right. Last one. What are you chasing?
Man, just impact, bro. Like, my richest moments is meeting kids and seeing them, the day that I meet them, understanding what their perceptions and orientations are around the game of golf. And then either after the event or sometimes it's weeks or months later, had that kid come back to me and like, man, that moment meant something to me. Like, I'm not going to stop playing golf. Right. And it's like the ability to develop affinity for this game. It's not just for the game of golf. It's because I'm understanding the reverberations that's going to have in their life. So like I'm by getting the kid really, like addicted to golf or having them develop a love for golf, I know that I'm positively impacting their life, because I firmly believe that any life plus golf is a better life, and that's what I feel, based on my life experience. That's one of the greatest things that I could hope to do with my time and my energy right now. So that's what I'm chasing, dog.
That's awesome, man.
That's
so happy. I love to hear
some
that.
more money though too. I want some more money, but I mean that's cool. You know what I mean?
We got to do some more things together, my man. I mean, we got to come up with something creative to do. Again, we'd love to have you at Nemacolin, not even for the concert. If you'd like to come up and play a little golf and take some money off the boys, we're all for it. And we can't thank you enough for coming on Chasin Birdies. Love your story. Love that you're chasing it, and keep chasing, my man.
I appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate you.
Well, I mean, Roger Steele is a man of the people, and
he's got swag, man.
Dude, swag, so much swag, and I love it. I mean, how about the Tiger Woods thing when he was a little kid, huh?
I know. Tiger brought him up on a range.
Lights, camera, action. Flushes it.
And playing golf with Steph Curry, and then he's like, when he hit me with that text, though, that's when it sunk in, or whatever he said. I'm like, damn.
People still get impressed with other people. It's okay, man. I mean,
dude,
it's
like you to me, man. I'm impressed by you every fucking day of the week.
Day.
I mean, it's unbelievable. But no, I think Roger, we can get him tapped in, maybe perhaps take him up to Nemacolin. What do you know about Nemacolin?
Oh, man. How much fun would he have there? So make sure you go over to nemacolin.com, check it out. They always got stuff brewing up there. And with the October right around the corner, it is the best time to be at Nemacolin. The leaves are changing. Roger would love it in October. I mean, he'd be hitting bombs into the leaves. So go over to nemacolin.com, check it out, book your stay, tell them the boys sent you. And, man.
It's funny, that episode with Roger Steele was probably the second most time in my life where I've been nervous. And I was only nervous simply because my Wi-Fi kept cutting out during the damn interview. People, you don't know that shit because it's all like seamless to you. But behind the scenes, this was
pay your internet bill
or buy a better router. It was terrible. It kept clicking. Then next thing you know, I'm looking at the screen and there's Roger and Pep talking about where the hell's Bash, drinking some water. His internet's gone, and I'm going, hey boys, can you see me? Can you hear me? And there's no reply. But we worked it off, made it all right, just so y'all can listen to that episode. So give Roger Steele on Instagram, Roger_Steele, as I said. Great guy, a great golf ambassador, what we need in today's golf world.
Yeah, he's making it fun.
Perfect.
That's the important. He is exactly what golf needs. He makes it fun for everyone. He speaks his mind, and he's enjoying it, dude.
Yep.
Like, you want to wear a hoodie and whatever, you want to play this golf course as many times as you want as a guest, you should be able to. I mean, it's just common sense. But
so I think it's funny that today kicks off the 2023 PGA Tour season with the
Napa.
Fortinet Championship. I got to be honest with you guys right now. I know Max Homa might have won it last year, but it's a tournament that I'm not too familiar with. Where did I play it?
Well, Aaron Badley just Monday qualified, but I mean, that's a name you have not heard of. How about that? He made a bomb on 18 to get in the event. Got long hair. Don't care. But
go easy.
So PGA Tour event, Napa. Drink some red wine. Get to the first tee, boys. Play your ball this week.
And also, just a quick interjection. Again, I saw some senior from Arizona State potentially left college golf to go play Live. He's living it up. Hey, man. Can't hate on that. We're not going to do that anymore right now with you, bud. But no, thank you guys so much for tuning in. My man, you got anything else you want to say?
No, go over to chasinbirdies.com. Check us out. We got new hats up. I mean, I think we're done with the hats for the year ordering, but we got some new ones that are going to be getting uploaded and on the site. Holderness and Bourne. You buy something of Holderness and Bourne, you send us a little note on Instagram, and we will include a Winston Collection head cover with your order. So, $75 value. Very nice of you, Ryan. So chasinbirdie.com, and then Chasin_Birdies on Instagram. Make sure you like us, tell your friends, tell your family. We greatly appreciate you following along on this funny journey.
Funny. Yeah, great word there.
So
funny. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in here on Chasin Birdies, and thank you to Evo and his team at Simpler Media for putting this thing together. and Rachel London, Jacqueline DiPaterio for all your social media help. You girls rock. And we can't wait to bring you some more episodes here. And stay tuned for the next drop in 2 weeks. And keep chasing.